Welcome everyone to another round of BRF2. Today we are at Imola for the, what's known now as the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. And sadly it's going to be the last time in the calendar, at least for now, in real life F1. So I'm not sure if we are going to be seeing this track in the new games. But let's enjoy it while we have it. It's a great track in my opinion, and it shouldn't be removed from the calendar. I know it's not easy to overtake in real life here. In the game it probably should be easier. It's never been really difficult to overtake in the game here. But yeah, I like the track. Maybe in real life it's not, doesn't give the best races because of it's hard to overtake because of the exit of the final corner, having only one DRS zone, but I still like the track a lot. But anyway, we are heading now into qualifying. We got 19 drivers on the grid right now. The only team missing a driver, I think it's the Haas team. We get then some people already on the out lap, actually most people on the out lap already, and already we have some guys started their flying laps. We're gonna go with Pantera, the Red Bull driver from the BR team. Following him to the end of Sector 1, it's gonna be a 24.2 for the Red Bull. Following him to Aqua Minerale. Now we're gonna come into the chicane. Coming into Ribasa for the final couple of corners. Get now into the exit of the final corner, and it's gonna be a 15.6 for Pantera. Now we got Rick that's gonna cross the line as well, and that's Romain going into P1 13.9. Now Rick 14.2, and we see a big difference between the time set so far. We got a 13.9 as the fastest time, then we get a 15.6 as the slowest time. It's a big difference between the drivers today, at least by now. Well, we got Alexi and Romain both on the same 10th, then Switch not that far behind as well. I'm gonna go on with Turek, the man from the Aston Martin team. Following him into the end of Sector 1. Well, I can't see the time he's done for some reason. Now Bellman goes P1 3 times quicker than his teammate. McLaren's looking strong at the moment. We already got half the grid set their first lap time, so yeah, McLaren looking pretty much the strongest team so far, but that can change because we still have half the grid without having set a lap. Following now Turek into the end of Sector 2, he's going to try and cut the chicane as much as possible without invalidating the lap. We follow him now to Ribasa. .14.8, not a great time at all. P11. The second most slow driver so far that has set a time, of course. Going now with Otso, who is finishing his lap. A little bit closer to invalidating. Manages to not leave the track completely. Moves up to P4. So it's a McLaren versus Alpine so far. These two teams in, except Bellman, they are really close to each other. Going on now with Celine, coming to the end of Sector 2. 49.2 at the end of Sector 2 for the Racing Bull driver. We follow him now to Ribasa. Tries to cut the corner as much as possible. Now comes into the line and it's gonna be 14.0 P6. Pretty good lap time by him. Not far from the battle for P2. That's really close between at least 5 drivers. Then Belmont's the only one that's made the difference here, with 3 temps separating him from his teammate. Seems to be dominating qualifying so far, but yeah, still a long way to go and anything can happen. We got both Haas drivers. I'm not sure if they're serving a quali ban or something. Well, they are on an out lap. One of them at least, but I think he may come back into the pit lane in case he's serving a quali ban. But for some reason, the Haas drivers have decided to not do a lap early. They've waited a little bit more. So yeah, I'm not sure if they're serving a penalty or if they have some different strategy. So basically no one on the lap at the moment. Everyone has come into the pit lane. We've still got 10 minutes to go. We'll see if Debek from the Haas team is going to start a flying lap, or if he's going to come into the pit lane, meaning he has a penalty to serve. But he doesn't, he's going to start the lap then. It's some alternative strategy from the Haas guys. Gonna follow now Debek into the main straight. Following him into turn 1. He's gonna go down into... Oh! A little bit of a glitch there. No, he did make him. I'm not sure now. Is it a glitch? Is that a mistake by him? I'm not sure. No, he said at 23.7. Definitely it's a glitch. So he is not making those mistakes that apparently he is doing, but he isn't. You can see how his car is jumping all over the place. Because of a glitch there, you can see him going wide, but really he isn't going wide. And it's really uncomfortable to see this quali lap from the Haas man. We follow him now into the final corner. Where can he go? His teammates also on a lap at the moment. He's going to be the last one to set. Oh, moves up to P3. Really good lap time by him. And now gets into contention even for pole position. Not far from Roman as well. And what can his teammate do? His teammate BRC, the other Haas driver, is going to try and aim to get as close as possible to his teammate. Could be there a close battle between 3 teams, and now Roman improves his second run, moves up to P1, right ahead of his teammate. The track is improving, so we'll see what Belmont can do in response to what his teammate's done. Well, it's a team championship, so it doesn't really matter for them if who is at the front. So, well, Belmont still probably should have the better pace to move it there. It cuts massively the corner. Joe moves up into P3. Now 13.9. We'll see if that time is going to be defeated by the other guys that set a lap previously, that haven't set a second shot yet. We follow now Belmont, the man that was previously leading qualifying, now being overtaken by his teammate in the leaderboard, but now it's improving 3 times, so it's gonna retake easily the lead once again. And well, it's definitely a domination by the McLaren guys so far. Now at this point, no one is really getting close to them, but we will see what the Alpines maybe can do. They looked solid at the beginning. Now, can they close up the gap? 13.3, 2 times quicker than his teammate like was expected. Belmont improves what he did previously. We're gonna go on with Otso into the main straight. Is he finishing a lap? Is he gonna start a lap? I think they're slipstreaming each other. Well, an Otso there goes into the boards and breaks them basically. We're gonna follow now Alexei, who's coming into the end of Sector 2. Currently on P5, and I think he did get a slipstream from his teammate there in the main straight, so I'm not sure if that's allowed. What I did know, it wasn't. Debect left session. Now in the line goes Alexei, and it's gonna be P1 for Alexei. Yeah, 1 tenth quicker than Belmont. Well, that may be the slipstream that we saw at the beginning. Well, if it's gonna be investigated, I don't know. I think it wasn't allowed, but maybe it is now. Not sure. But it's Alexei now leading the field, followed by Belmont and Romain. They're the Alpine driver challenging the McLarens. Now Debec's back in the lobby. Got 5 minutes to go. Most people on the pit lane at the moment. I think we got Turek and Legend, both Astons on a flying lap. Now Legend crosses the line, but I think, yeah, he didn't improve. Then we go with Turek then. Now it's coming in the pit lane as well. Astons on P11 and P12, well, not great, but they are not far from the guys in front. You can see it's basically a tenth, even less than a tenth, separating the guys from P5 to P12. So little details will decide who is going to be in each position of this. It's not going to be a big difference, but it can be key for sure for the main race. Track position, we know, is really important in this new game, where overtaking is not that easy. Need to find out if the undercut is better, if the overcut's better. We know that the tire degradation is really high on this game. I'm not sure what's the case on this specific track, but once again, the race is going to be really strategic, and it's going to be a big fight on track as well. Well, drivers going out for their final quali lap. Again, now Bellman moving up into P1. I wasn't expecting him to go that soon. Still 2 minutes to go, and he's gone really, really early, same as Roman, his teammate. Following now Roman into the final corner. Can he aim to get pole position against his teammate? Maybe he can't. He improves 2 tenths. Defends his position, will not be gaining a position, but will at least improve 2 tenths previous lap time. That will help him defend from the other driver still on a flying lap, though I think, well, Bellman in his case went really early. We'll see what Alexi can do now. He's on his final run as well. And well, Alexi here can be on pole position. The gap between him and Bellman is around 50 thousandths of a second. Is nothing basically. Alexi coming into the final corners. Into Ribasa he goes. Into the line, and it's gonna be pole position for Alexi by less than a tenth ahead of Belmont. But well, let's wait and see if someone else can do a thing about it. Looks like they can. Legend goes up to P4. Now Switch is also on a lap. Slin is also on a lap. No, he's invalidated the lap. Then Switch still on a lap. I think he is on a lap. Yeah, he is on a lap. We follow him now to the end of Sector 2. Does he have anything to do here? He's 6 tenths behind. No, he's not even improving. Joe coming into... No, not improving as well. And we go with Isan. In the line he goes. Moves up to P10. The kick driver. So that's gonna be it. It's gonna be Alexi on pole position, Bellman in second, Roman in third. Legend that got there to split both teams, and we got then Otso on P5 from Alpine. The Alpines will not be able to help each other that easily. And the Haas that were doing a good job now fall down to P13 and P14. Well, I think Debek had a lot of connection problems. Lagged out many times. I just see him rejoin again. So unfortunate for the Haas guys. Lights out and away we go. Alexi gets a good start. Belmont as well. Roman as well. Nothing really changed now. Otso does get a better start than Legend. It's already up ahead. And oh, that's Roman dive bombing his own teammate. That didn't went well between both McLarens. Now Legend losing more positions. And it's now both Alpines and both McLarens at the front. Alexi leading 1.4 seconds ahead already of Romain. That turn one incident between both McLarens has costed them some time against the now race leader. And, well, the pole sitter as well didn't lose the lead at all since the race began. We got now also attacking Belmont for that P3 of the race. Romain's now going to have to push to try and close up the gap to Alexi. Alexi that has blasted the battery, but Roman has blasted the battery as well. Belmont managed to follow and, well, also has a little bit better battery than the top three. Also could be on for something good in the coming stages of this race, having in mind his better battery position at the moment. And the gap keeps extending now. It's 1.7 second difference between Alexi and Romain. And, well, Belmont's going to stick into the DRS at the moment. And also still looking to get always closer into the back of Belmont. Doesn't manage to do it this time. It's also Belmont has DRS from his teammate to defend. And Alexi is showing a really good pace so far. Belmont's on the hard tires, so, well, this explains a little bit as well how Romain was able to overtake him. Now it's also good for Romain to be at the front right now. Belmont would be much slower, and he's managing to carry his teammate in the slower compound of tire for at least this first part of the race. We'll see how it goes. If it's going to be a 1 or 2 stop race, might try some split strategies. If it's a 1-stop race, you're going to have to take these stars to around lap 14 or something. I'm not sure how high the degradation is on this track specifically, but, well, I know degradation is high in this game in general. Well, now Switch is getting past Otso doesn't get a good exit off the corner. That allows Switch to move past into P4 of the race. Not great news for the Alpine team, at least with his second driver in this race. Alexi leading by a good gap, 1.5, though the problem is going to be that Belmont is on hards, and those hards are going to start getting better at any time. We know once again about degradation in this game. And I really don't think it's going to last too much, those medium tires. Probably around lap 7 or something, we already will start seeing some degradation. Coming down to the start of lap 5, Alexei extends the gap to 1.8 seconds. Though, like I said before, his real rival for the race win is going to be Bellman, I think. Who has the better tire for the later on. And is managing to stick into the back of his teammate so far. His teammate is also... It's good teamwork by both McLarens at the moment. In the middle of the pack, nothing really happening. I mean, everyone's on the DRS terrain, and like I said before, this is not a track with much overtaking opportunities apart from, of course, the main straight. But it's also hard to overtake even with the DRS. You see how much Bellman is struggling right now to pass his teammate, though they are working as a team, but in previous game it would have been an easy pass. Now it is not. He's not even trying to overtake him. Now I think he's gonna just let him go, and yeah, that's the case. He's letting him pass. And this will now allow Bellman to try and chase Alexei on the hard set of tires that maybe already are starting to work better than the mediums. We'll see if Roman is capable of sticking into the DRS of his teammate. If not, maybe he will let him go again, as they still have similar pace and they can still try and carry each other with the DRS, though now Roman is losing time. 7 attempts behind his teammate already. Bellman starting to fly. Bellman already 1.4 seconds behind Alexei. And that's what I said before. The mediums weren't going to last that much. I said lap 7. It's already lap 6, and we already can see some kind of maybe minor degradation, though you can see reflected on the times. Roman nearly lost a second to his teammate. Now he's going to recover in the main straight, because he still has a DRS by a minimal margin. Legend also lost time against Switch, 1.6 seconds behind. Alexei in the lead, followed by Bellman, followed by Roman. Roman, who is still managing to stick into the back of his teammate. Not sure if it might be on purpose as well, to try and carry his teammate to at least some couple of more laps to help him defend against Switch. Switch is also coming from on really good pace. Now you can see that Bellman's starting to close up the gap. 1.3 now. He's getting always closer, especially in second sector, where I think we have the more amount of corners where you can make the difference. Sector 3 as well. But you can see now it's 1.1, the difference between Bellman and Alexei. Bellman nearly in the DRS. Is definitely going to be on DRS in the next lap, unless he pulls a mega final sector, Alexei, but he doesn't. It's already 7/10 gap between the top two. Alexei is struggling bad on those medium tires. Maybe he's going to think about a stop now, because defending is not going to be an easy job against the McLaren on the better tire. Come now into the main straight. He's going to try and keep him behind for at least one lap. Let's remember also it's not that easy to overtake. 8 attempts the gap, and now he's going to start closing up because he has the DRS. 6 attempts behind now, 5 attempts behind. Alexei, lap 8 of 32. A long way to go in this race still, and we still don't know if this is going to be a 1 or 2 stop race. Well, so far, Belmont's still unable to close up enough the gap to overtake Alexi. Alexi's gonna have to defend hard now. We see Belmont's with nearly full battery. Alexi has half the battery, still enough to defend. We got already some people in the pit lane. They are going for the hard tires, so I'm not sure if they're gonna try and make them last to the end of the race. If they're pitting this early, like I said, they're definitely going for a two-stopper. I don't think the hards will make 24 laps. I really don't see them doing that. Well, the gap's now very close within the top two. This might be the chance for Belmont to make the move. Let's remember, if Belmont makes the move, he's gonna easily start pulling away because the tires are way better now, and I can't feel those mediums are dead from Alexi. Here comes Belmont. He's gonna try and go all the way around the outside. Nothing really Alexi can do. Those tires are absolutely dead. Takes the lead of the race in lap 10. It was a good strategy by the McLaren driver to go and start the race on the hards. Nothing really. He needs to try and push to see if his teammate can get past Alexi as well. It's been good team play by the McLaren so far. Let's see how well they can execute in this lap. Yeah, like I said, was gonna start flying and blasting in the lead. It's already 9/10 difference. That's how dead his tires are. We got a yellow flag. That's a Ferrari off, and might that be a safety car? No, it isn't. He manages to recover the car. He once again it's a yellow flag, but he doesn't cause enough damage to make it necessary for a safety car to come out. Oh, but now we got a spinner from kick. I think it's Rick in the middle sector. And it's 1.1 the gap between Belmont and Alexi. Like I said, he was going to start flying once he managed to overtake him. Maybe Alexi should pit now. Those tires are not in good conditions at all. He could manage an undercut, but he will stay out. Romain's coming in the pit lane. Well, he's going to go for a two-stopper most likely. No, I think he can maybe try a one-stopper. It's going to be dead tires by the end, but it's not impossible. And Switch now is closing up the gap to Alexi. Maybe it's only Alexi's problem, and Stars definitely destroyed them in the first couple of laps. Eight attempts separate Alexi and Switch. Belmont now flying 1.8 seconds ahead of Alexi. But now let's remember that Belmont will have to extend those hards much more. So I'm not sure if he's going to be in danger following into the final laps of the race in the last stint. But, well, at the moment it's extending the gap very, very quickly. Switch closing the gap to Alexi, like I already said. I'm going to follow them into sector 3. 2.3 the gap between Alexi and Belmont as well in the battle for the lead of the race. Battle, well, we can't really call it a battle anymore, at least by now. Simply like I said, those tires are absolutely destroyed. And yeah, there goes Alexi, and he got a massive undercut there from Romain. That's now clearly going to be in front when he comes out of the pit lane, or maybe not, because he maybe has met a little bit of traffic in there. But it's going to be warm tires versus cold tires. We'll see where Alexi comes out. He's coming out of the pit lane. Where is Romain now? He is right. He's going to be in front. Yeah, the undercut worked perfectly. Yeah, those tires were absolutely that. There was no way he was coming. There was no way he was coming in front. And he now 2-second undercut. That's a mega difference. More than 2 seconds actually. And now let's count the time that's going to lose in the full tires. Time is going to lose now against Genesis on old mediums. It's going to be like 3 seconds behind. Now Genesis is going a little bit wider. And look at the grip difference. That's how different the grip is between fresh and old tires in this game. Now Alexi 2 seconds behind Romain. We'll see if he can find a better pace in this second stint. He's gonna have to recover from that undercut. Has one lap fresher tires, though I don't think it's gonna make a big difference. We got already BRC, no, Switch and Legend in the pit lane. We got Mattia in the pit lane, Deck on the pit lane as well. And well, these guys, Joe and Isan, BRC, trying to go for a one-stopper. They probably will try and extend the lap, 14, like I said before. Make sure the hards last well to the end of the race. They're not aiming for better position, really. I mean, track position is going to be all they can do. They are losing already a lot of time staying in these stars, but they're going to try and save it by not doing another stop, which I think most people will be having to do one more stop in this race. Now Joe comes in the pit lane, BRC stays out. Like I said, they're going for lap 14, and well, this is lap 14. If they don't pit now, then I don't know what to think. Like, Hart should easily make it to the end of the race if they pit by now. It should be, what, 18 laps in the hard tires. If you've done 14 on the mediums, 18 on the hards, should not be a hard job. And Alexi is now closing a little bit the gap to Romain. He seems to have the better pace now. Maybe Romain is not trying to push too much, but he's closing little by little the gap. Then we got Otso as well, right behind his teammate. Switch that's come out with really good hard tires. And maybe he can try to attack the guys in front. He's 3-4 seconds behind Alexi, who he was on his DRS before made his stop, but he now has fresher tires. And now they do come into the pit lane, Isan and BRC. The only one that's out still is Bellman, that's on the lead of the race in hard tires. Well, the hard tire strategy helped him at the first part of the race, but now he's gonna have to put the mediums, which might not be a great idea. 20-second gap between him and his teammate. Mediums are simply not a great tire to be on in this game at all. Well, softs are basically trash, then hard is definitely the best tire to be on, but mediums also die really quick. Not even in the final stint, it's very good. We saw PSGL the other day up near, got some really good laps in the mediums in that final stint, but then at the end the mediums just died and couldn't compete against the old hard runners. So yeah, it's not a great tire to be on in this game. Well, Joe now has set the fastest lap of the race. One of the guys that extended a lot that stint on the mediums, and definitely aiming to go to the end of the race. Alexi is closing up the gap as well against Roman. Roman doesn't have that better of pace compared to the Alpine, though the Alpine also not that much quicker. It's closing little by little. Also, let's remember Alexi got that undercutted by him firstly, so that means he has 1 lap fresher tires. His teammate Otso, though, with time penalties also sticking there. And well, Switch has not been able to close up the gap that much, though he might do soon because he's also on fresher tires. Roman closing up the gap, and look at see now Alexis lost time to Romain. Switch closed up the gap to the Alpines as well, and Joe's also closing up the gap. Now he's close to Slin. He's only 2 seconds behind, and well, with a bit of fresher tires, can start thinking about a move. We'll see where Joe finishes the race. We'll see where Isan and who was the other guy? I think it was BRC finished the race by extending that stint. If they will get with better tires to the end of the race, and Belmont, till when he's gonna extend those hards? I guess he might pit around lap 22, 24. Got a DNF then by one of the Ferraris. Well, Switch now keeps losing time to the Alpines. Is not going to be then in contention like I thought he would be. It's actually being attacked by Legend there, and Joe also not close up the gap to Slane. Well, the only thing they can hope for is that the hearts die and they can stay out because they extended the stop, but I'm not sure if that's happening. So not sure what's interesting to watch now. Alexis got to Roman's DRS finally. Well, we got an interesting battle here for P2 of the race. Belmont is still needing to stop once again. It's a battle then between the McLaren and the Alpine team. Though Otso has a time penalty now. Belmont comes into the pit lane, aims for the one stop then. He's gonna go for the fresh medium tires. 12 laps on the mediums. We saw some people do it already with less fuel on the car. It should be an accessible strategy. Might not be great by the end of the race, but it may work for him. He's gonna come out probably. He's gonna come out very behind. He's gonna have to make his way through a lot of people. Well, Belmont falls now down to P. Oh, this might complicate him a lot. Yeah, he's gonna fall in traffic. He falls behind. Ethan is down to P11 of the race. I'm not sure if he can win this one at this point. He is very, very far behind. Of course, he will have the better tires, but well, there he goes, gonna go for the first move. Has 12 laps to fight back to P1 from P11. First move comes here, but it doesn't work. Isan manages to move up ahead. And Alexi is, once again, like I said before, closing the gap to Romain. He's right at the back of him, though Romain does only have one lap older tires than Alexi, so it's not going to be that easy to overtake for Alexi, or at least it shouldn't be that easy, I think. Both with similar amount of battery. There goes, side by side go the drivers. Oh! Collision between the two of them, and that's Roman off the roader. That's gonna be polemic. That's gonna be polemic after the race. Alexi in the lead of the race then, but with an incident with Romain there. Oh, we got a retirement that is in the pit lane. The other Ferrari out of the race. Not great, knowing it's in Italy. Both Ferraris out. We get now Belmont right at the back of Turek. Around the outside it goes. A lot of wheel banging in this laps we're seeing. Belmont now right at the back of Isan, coming for the move as well. well, now gonna go for that P8 of the race. Let's look at the gap between Belmont and the leader. It's 13 seconds. I really don't see him fighting back. It's going to be really difficult, especially knowing that even if he manages to make it there, both Alpines are going to defend like crazy, helping each other. And now that his teammate is off, nothing really can be done. Belmont 12 seconds behind the leader, and well, if it's at the beginning it looked like a great strategy, to be honest, but now it looks like an absolute horrible strategy, starting on the hard tires. But well, time will tell. He is though closing the gap, but the problem is the traffic. He needs to overtake 7 cars in 8 laps to he wants to win this race, and he's gonna meet a big DRS train in front of him. But it's not impossible. It looks hard because of the laps remaining and because of the gap, because of the cars he has to overtake. But well, if he planned that strategy, it must have been because of a good reason. We follow him now into the main straight, though once again the train was going to complicate him a lot. That's the car going up, that's going to help him, or should help him. Down this side he goes. Oh, slides there in the brakes. Not a great moment for him. He lost a second again. He was 11 seconds. There's going to be 12 behind. That's the problem with having to overtake. Still needs to overtake 6 more cars. At this point, I think we can say the strategy was absolutely horrible. And now Otso makes a horrible mistake. Having in mind that he has a clear gap against Romain. Shouldn't be risking the track limits, and he got a penalty now. He has a big risk of not finishing in the top 2. It was an easy 1-2, I think, for the Alpines, and now it's not. 12-second gap between Belmont and the race leader. Follow Belmont there into the main straight. Well, now swap in the lead. It's Otso now leading with the time penalty. They're gonna try and pull each other, I think. Joe again switched. Joe makes it up into P4 of the race. Finally, his strategy is kind of working, we could say. Belmont up into P6 of the race. Though those tires already should have some serious degradation. It was a horrific strategy by the McLaren team, thereby making him start on the hard tires. It looked great, of course, at the beginning, but then he paid off at the end of the race. And well, I think he can manage to retake the podium, but winning is gonna be nearly impossible. Going now past Minerali, is gonna try and go all the way around the outside. No real room. It would be really optimistic to try and send it there around the outside. We are gonna follow him now into Ribasa. Maybe we can try and dive there down the inside. He's gonna wait to the main straight. He probably will. He still more than 11 seconds behind now. The top 2 helping each other with DRS. Here comes Belmont. He's gonna get probably a not that difficult overtake against Switch. Actually, no, it's getting really complicated. Both Williams helping each other defend the position. Of course, they're fighting for track position against. Switch is fighting in track position against Belmont. Well, of course, Joe isn't because he has a penalty, but Switch does have something to fight for. Now Belmont tries around the outside. He gets the move done, and yeah, moves up into P5 of the race. Now next target is going to be overtaking Romain. And then the gap to the leader is going to be 11 seconds, which in 8 laps, in 4 laps, No, it's actually going to be 5 laps remaining to the end of the race, so he would need to shorten up the gap 2 seconds a lap approximately if he wants to win this race, which is basically impossible. Those mediums are already in not good conditions, and even though 2 seconds a lap, it would be really difficult to do even in fresh tires. Plus he has to overtake 3 cars still. But yeah, that P3 against his own teammate, definitely possible. But well, maybe I may be wrong, and maybe, well, what he can hope now is that Alexi gets a penalty for the incident with Romain. That could be a hope for Bellman to win this race. I'm not sure if it's going to be a penalty or not. Something did happen between those two. The gap now with the leader is 10 seconds. 4 laps to go. Yeah, like I said, it's an impossible job to do for Bellman. Got a yellow flag. Late safety car would be great for the McLarens. Oh, it is a late safety car. Wait. What? What did just happen? I literally mentioned the safety car and it literally came out. What has just happened? I said a late safety car would be great for the McLarens. And immediately a safety car comes out. Well, that was crazy timing of that thing. A safety car didn't pop out the whole race. Then I mention it and it immediately comes out. The worst possible moment for the Alpines. Now the thing is, do they pit? Do they stay out? Well, it's gonna be what, like... There's gonna be 2 laps of racing definitely. It's Alexi in the pit lane. They have to pit for sure. Now the problem is gonna be the penalties. Like if the Alpine gets a penalty for the incident with Roman, who, like I said before, I'm not sure if it's at fault, then well, and it's getting even better because now we got 3 people in front of no, it's 4 people in front of Alexi on all the tires. Everyone else is in the pit lane. We got Romain on fresh soft tires, as well as Bellman. Joe's gained the position against Bellman. Well, the late safety car did appear, and the late safety car is gonna mess everything, absolutely everything up here today. I still find it really crazy how that timing from my commentating and the actual events happened. And well, we're gonna get a really crazy ending of this race. If the McLarens end up winning this thanks to the safety car, then I don't know what to think. Yeah, like I said, the safety car was gonna leave really early because they always give 2 laps of racing. They never give 1 lap for some reason. At least it's been like this in the game. Always, it also never ends under safety car. The game's not programmed for that. It's always been like that since a while ago, since I know the F1 game. It always leaves with 2 laps to go max. Only once I remember he left with 1 lap to go in F1 2021, but that was in another league and not something I should mention now, because it has nothing to do. But anyway, we get the relaunch now, and what is gonna happen? We gotta keep an eye now on. Oh, that's a ghost car. That's a ghost car. That's a back marker. Oh, it's chaos. It's absolute chaos. It was obvious it was gonna be chaos. Like, I mean, it was it was cold. I mean, 2 laps to go. Alexi right at the back of BRC. BRC who will try and defend as better as he can. Really won't matter because he has a penalty, but still, why not defend when you can and when it's only 1 lap to go with no DRS gonna be enabled? Roman getting past Turek. Now Alexi moves back into the lead of the race. We got some people penalized. We got Belmont that things haven't got any better for him. Also moving up into second of the race. Roman will now try and go up for BRC. Podium isn't gonna change in the end, I think. Well, it's messed up the 1-2 for the Alpines. I don't even think they were gonna get one because of the 6 seconds of Otso. Following now, maybe Belmont should have stayed out, now that I start thinking about it. If Belmont stayed out, maybe he could have won this thing. No, probably not. And the Roman getting past now, BRC. Now Joe there goes banging wheels with BRC. Belmont moves through up into P5. Finally, the safety car didn't really change anything, I think, at least from the front guys. Maybe at the back I didn't really check. Like, they have a lot of penalties, so it doesn't really matter anyway. Switch is really far behind. So he's gonna climb up a lot because of the time penalties. Well, that's Alexi winning the race. That's gonna be both McLarens on the podium. Well, that's it for F2. Uh, kind of interesting race, gotta say. Probably not the best of the season, but it was really enjoyable one. We'll meet back again then for the F3 in a couple hours. Thanks to all and goodbye.